Okay, so my chicken thighs are out of the oven. I'll let these cool for a little bit on the counter until they're able to be handled without getting burnt, and then I'll chop them up for my chicken pot pie. I had to take a quick break to feed my kids lunch and then put them down for a nap. So now I have probably an hour and a half of silence to hopefully get stuff done. I'm going to quickly do a huge batch of dishes, and then I'm going to start in on my chicken pot pie. So I have changed into a t-shirt because with my oven and my stove running, it's just got really hot in here all of a sudden. So I'm gonna do some dishes, and then I'm gonna move on to part 2. All right, so I am done with my dishes, and I have all of my chicken pot pie elements ready to go. I'm about ready to start cooking that up. I'm preheating my stock pots. I have washed those and I'm heating those up now. I have 4 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to be putting 4 tablespoons of avocado oil in, roughly. But I'm gonna saute my onions and celery until those are translucent. I'll add my garlic to that. Keto chicken pot pie with like a cheddar biscuit on a topping, and it's by Low Carb Jennifer. So I'm going to be linking that in the description. So definitely check the link, the description for the exact recipe. I am 4 timesing the recipe, so I know this may be a difficult recipe to follow if you're trying to make it for yourself. So I'm just gonna pop the link down there in the description so you can just click on the link, get the recipe for like a normal family size meal. I'm gonna season it with salt and pepper. Saute in some garlic to each batch. Then I'm going to add 2 cups of carrots and peas to each batch. Okay, so a brief side note. The recipe by Low Carb with Jennifer definitely calls for 1 cup of carrots per batch. I am aware that carrots and peas are something that some people totally avoid on keto. It's kind of one of those things that I'm willing to eat some of for this recipe. So if you're using the peas and carrots in the quantity that I am using, you might consider this a low carb recipe versus a keto approved recipe. So I still feel like the total carbs in this, it's a better option to the traditional chicken pot pie, and I'm willing to make that sacrifice of eating a few more carbs to have the flavors that I'm looking for. So you can definitely leave the peas and or the carrots out. Like, you know, just make it your own. You can add some green beans. Green beans are, I think, almost half the carbs of peas and carrots. So just kind of play with it, do whatever you want to do, and just kind of make adjustments if you're looking at the macros. I'm gonna add the chicken. I'm gonna divide my chicken that I have to the 2 pots, and then I will add chicken broth and heavy cream. Okay, so I'm putting in the xanthan gum and stirring that up. And just keep it on the heat, medium, low, to kind of get the xanthan gum to start thickening up, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I'm about to make the biscuit topping. I'm going to use my KitchenAid, which I rarely use anymore since being keto, but I'm going to use it today. Just remember, I am 4 timesing the batch, so the quantities of things going in here are pretty significant. Moved over to the counter, and I'm just gonna kind of mix the rest of this by hand. I don't want to overbeat it in with the KitchenAid, but with such quantities, it's nice to have some extra manpower. Okay, so there's no powder on the bottom, and the cheese is pretty well mixed in. So. Alright, so the little trick I use to divvy up my batter is I just divide it in quarters, and then I have 8 pans here, so I'll just use 1 quarter for 2 pans. And that way I hopefully won't run out. All right, so here are my 8 chicken pot pie casseroles ready for the freezer. So each batch, as I said, I 4 times the recipe. So each batch I split into 2 smaller pans because our family, we have 3 small kids and 2 adults, and this feeds us for a meal. And sometimes there's, you know, a serving left over. Taco meat is cooled, and I am getting ready to bag it up. I use gallon Ziploc bags because it's easier to get the meat scooped in. You can also use quart bags, but I just find that they're a little bit tighter of a fit. I usually try to put about 1.5 pounds of meat into each bag. So I'm just gonna label my bags real quick, and then I'm gonna load them up so that they can get in the freezer. So my taco meat is all bagged and labeled and it's ready to go into the freezer. So I split this up in 1.5 pounds of meat per bag. And so we have 8 meals worth of taco meat, and we will have a little bit left over each meal. And there is where I'm gonna stop for my day 1 of freezer meal prep. I was able to accomplish 8 small chicken pot pie casseroles, and then 8 bags of taco meat that all I have to do is thaw and use. I do this, you know, every couple of months. I'll put some big recipes together and freeze several batches or meals worth of those recipes. And it just really saves me time in the long run. I enjoy having something that can be a home-cooked meal in the freezer. I can just pull it out and cook it up. So I guess I'm gonna clean up the kitchen, and I will see you in my next video. I hope wherever you're at today, you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon, friends.